Sharade pahi mam Shankara raksha mam. 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 Sharade pahi mam Shankara raksha mam.
Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sharada Sharadamboja Vadana Vadanambuje Sarvata Sarvata Asmakam Sannidhim Kriyad Shankarupena Machittam Pankigritam Ahudya Kinkari Yasha Shamhaya Shankara Acharya Mashraye Bharati Karnapatram Bharati Padabhushanam Bharati Padamarudam Bharati Tirthamashraye Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vita Ragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tatpatnim Vidushekhara Bharatim Sadguru Charnaravidhabhyam Namaha. Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all for coming again for another session of Panchadasi. Mami, take it over. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grahaika Karmane. All right. So we'll start. First, let us chant a few of the older shlokas. If Soma can show those. So we will chant. We have to do up to 77. So if we can chant 75, 76, 77, it will be good. Yeah. Can we make it a little bit bigger, Soma? Nyasya bhati sada vyoma nistatvolekha purvakam sadvastvapi vibhatyasya nichidratva purasaram. Next one. Vasanayam ध्यानात्मानात्युक्तितोऽपि रूढे भेदे वियत्सतोः न कदाचिद् वियत्सत्वं सद्वस्तुच्छिद्रवन्न च न्यस्य भाति सदा व्योम निस्तत्वोल्लेखपूर्वकम् सद्वस्त्वपि विभात्यस्व nichidratva. We went back, huh? Sorry. What is happening here? Vasanayam pravriddhayam viyat satyatva vadinam sanmatra bodhayuktam cha drishtva vismayato buddha.
77. Yes.
Thank you. Ekamakashamithyatve satsatyatve cha vasite न्यायेनानेन वायवादेः sadvastu pravivicyatam. Okay, thank you. So, last time we have done explaining how, by Shruti and Yukti and so many different logic he brought in, how Akasha is Mithya and Vidyaranyaji is now, after that, after explaining very elaborately about that, he's taking up the next one as Vayu. Akasha is done. Now he's going to explain how Vayu is Mithya. The logic for establishing Akasha as Mithya, just to remind us, number one was that the very word Akasha says that it is different from Sat. When we say Akasha and Sat, so two different words, why would they have the same meaning? So that itself shows that Akasha and Sat are two different things. When Akasha is different from Sat, we wonder how it appears. So when it is Asat, it should not appear. How come we are able to see if it is Mithya? So then the new word was coined called as Mithya. So Mithya is which gives a semblance of appearance. So this was reason number one. And then the reason number two was established with Adhara and Adheya, if you remember that. So Adhara is the substratum and the Adheya is that which is held by the substratum. We had talked about that. So to find out what is Adhara and what is Adheya, we first found out how one is more pervasive and which one is less pervasive. So that which is more pervasive then becomes the substratum, and that which is less pervasive is that which is the thing that is held by it. So Adhika Vritti and Nyuna Vritti, all these words we had said last time. So, and since Akasha is only in Akasha, or it is different from Vayu and the rest, therefore its presence is limited by the presence of the substances, and being limited by the other substances, it is not Adhika Vritti, so it is Nyuna Vritti. Last time we had said that. So Adhara is that which is, again, just to repeat, Adhika Vritti, and that which is Adheya is Nyuna Vritti, less pervasive. So Sat is the Adhara and Akasha was the Adheya. So then that's how we said that, then the Akasha, we said, they are two different things. Since Adhara and Adheya are different, Akasha is different from Sat. And then it is asat, doesn't really have any everlasting reality, even though it appears. So making Akasha mithya. So by these two logic, it was established that Akasha is mithya. So after all that, now we go to the next topic, which is now Vayu. So that is what is being explained here. There are two arguments we should have in this. First one is, how do you say that Vayu is mithya? Because of course, Maya is mithya, we know, but Vayu does not come from Maya. Vayu comes from Akasha, we said. First the thing, Akasha came from mithya, then comes Vayu. So Vayu's father is Akasha. So why should Vayu be mithya? That is, because Akasha which comes from Maya is mithya, therefore Vayu which comes from Akasha is mithya. Now, in Vayu also we see Sat. We see existence in Vayu. Vayu exists. Now, if we say Vayu comes from Akasha, and Akasha is Asat or Mithya, then how come there is Sat existence in Vayu? These are the questions. They have to be sorted out. So, number one is, how can you establish that Vayu is Mithya when Maya is Mithya? So, what is the connection between Vayu and Maya, making Vayu that Mithya? And part two of this is Vayu being seen as existing. We see that if you say Akasha is Mithya, how did Vayu get that Sat from Akasha? Good question. Yeah? Because Vayu is coming from Akasha. We said Akasha is Mithya. Mithya does not have Sat because Sat and Akasha are different. But the Vayu is seen as existing. We all feel it. So these two issues have to be sorted out before we move further. So that's what is being done in the 78th verse now. We are going to take the 78th verse now. Yeah, now let us see. Yeah. Sadvastunyekadeshastha Maya tatraikadeshagam Sadvastunyekadeshastha Maya tatraikadeshagam Vyattatrapyekadeshagadesha Gato Vayu Prakalpitaha Vyattatrapyekadesha Gato Vayu Prakalpitaha Sadvastunyekadeshastha Maya tatraikadeshagam Vyattatrapyekadeshagata desha Gato Vayu Prakalpitaha Sadvastunyekadeshastha Maya tatraikadeshagam Vyattatrapyekadesha Gato Vayu Prakalpitaha. Now, there are two arguments actually, that we have to see here. So what are these arguments? First one is, how do you say that Vayu is Mithya? Because Maya alone is Mithya. Vayu comes from Akasha. So why Vayu is Mithya? That is the question. That is, because Akasha which comes from Maya is Mithya, therefore Vayu which comes from Akasha must be Mithya. And also the second one was, in Vayu also we see Sat. That is, we see the existence in Vayu. If we say Vayu comes from Akasha, and Akasha we already proved that it is Mithya, then how come the Sat is there in Vayu, which comes from Akasha? Yeah. So these two issues have to be sorted out. So now, number one, how can you establish that Vayu is Mithya when Maya is Mithya? So what is the connection between Vayu and Maya? Making Vayu Mithya. So point two, Vayu being seen as existing. If you say Akasha is Mithya, how did Vayu get this Sat? Because Vayu is coming from Akasha and Akasha is Mithya. So Mithya does not have Sat because Sat is different from Sat Akasha. So these two issues have to be sorted out before we go further, and that's what this verse does. So in this verse, Sadvastuni, in Sadvastu, Ekadeshastha Maya, means Maya is only one place. That means Sadvastu is a huge big thing. It is Adhika Vritti, more pervasive. And Maya occupies only one portion of it. The whole Sadvastu does not become Maya. Only one portion of that Sadvastu is Maya. So the Maya becomes Nyuna Vritti, less pervasive. Tatra Ekadeshagam Viyat. In that Maya, so first we said Sadvastu, in that one portion is Maya. In that Maya also Ekadeshagam Viyat. In that Maya, Akasha, Viyat means Akasha. Akasha is only one portion. Okay. So the entire Maya does not get converted into Akasha. Only one portion. So compared to Akasha, Maya is Adhika Vritti. And compared to Maya, Sat is Adhika Vritti. So Nyuna Vritti is Sat and then Maya, Nyuna Vritti, and then Akasha. Like that. So Tatra api, even in that Akasha, Ekadeshagam Viyat. In that Maya, only one part is Akasha. Tatrapi Ekadeshagataha Vayuhu Prakalpitaha. So then from that Akasha, Vayu is only one place, one portion. So only one Amsha of Akasha has become Vayu. Yeah? So if we take the Parampara, first comes Sat, from that comes the Maya, from the Maya comes the Akasha, from the Akasha comes the Vayu. So Vayu is Mithya, borrowed from Akasha, which it directly gets from Maya. We saw that. So the existence of Maya is borrowed from Akasha. Akasha borrows it from Maya. Maya directly gets it from Sat. Now, the next one, Vidyaranyaji, he will try to say what are the gunas of Vayu. And then finally, he will establish how Vayu is Mithya. Okay? So this is how he slowly and slowly takes us. So today, there is not much of a head-breaking arguments and all of that. It's just too simple. Okay? So don't expect any big arguments, nothing at all. So now, after clarifying that point, how existence it came in Vayu, etc., now he elaborates all the properties of Vayu in the 79th shloka. So, Shosha Sparsho Gatir Vego वायुधर्मा इमे मताः शोषस्पर्शो गतिर्वेगो वायुधर्मा इमे मताः त्रयस्वभावा सन्माया व्योम्नां ये तेऽपि वायुगाः त्रयस्वभावा सन्माया व्योम्नां ये तेऽपि वायुगाः शोषस्पर्शो गतिर्वेगो वायुधर्मा इमे मताः त्रयस्वभावा सन्माया व्योम्नां ये तेऽपि वायुगाः शोषस्पर्शो गतिर्वेगो वायुधर्मा इमे मताः त्रयस्वभावा सन्माया व्योम्नां ये तेऽपि वायुगाः वायुधर्मा इमे मतः. Now, these are considered to be the properties of Vayu. Vayu Dharma. Dharma means properties. So, we all know the property, first property is Parsha, that you can feel. The Vayu we can feel. Akasha has got Shabda. Akasha, we said how the echo comes in the Akasha. Vayu has got Sparsha. And then, when we come to the next one, the Tejas, the Agni, then in that we will say Rupa. There is some kind of a form in that, etc. So, he brings to our attention what other properties are there in Vayu. What are the other properties? Shosha. Shosha means that which dries up everything, takes away the moisture from everything, is Vayu. And that is one. Second one is Parsha, the touch. And then Gati. Gati means movement. There is movement in Vayu. And then Vega. Vega means sometimes that movement becomes like a big storm, no? So that is speed. How large objects can also start flying. Vayu dharmo ime mata. Vayu dharma ime mata. These are the properties of Vayu. What are they? Shosha means drying. Sparsha, touch. Gatihi, movement. Vegaha, speed. All these are called as the properties of Vayu. Sanmaya Vyomnam. From Sat, we have Maya. And from Maya, you have Akasha, the space. These three, Trayasvabhavaha, the properties of these three. Before Vayu, these three things are there. Sat is there, Maya is there, and Akasha is there. Before Vayu, this is the hierarchy, no? Sat is there, then Maya is there, then Akasha is there. Ye Trayasvabhavaha. From those three, we get the three properties also. The properties of those three are also added to this air, to Vayu. One is Vayu's own property. Another is what is the property of its causes which it inherits. Yeah? So, these three properties enter into Vayu. Te api Vayugaha means they also reach Vayu. From the three above, those properties also come to Vayu. So, what are the three properties? Again, we'll see it in the next shloka. So quickly it goes today. What happened? Yeah, it is just right. Vayurastiti sadbhavaha sato vayau prithakrite nistatva rupata maya स्वभावो व्योमगो ध्वनिः निस्तत्वरूपता माया स्वभावो व्योमगो ध्वनिः वायुरस्तीति सद्भावः सतो वायौ पृथक् कृते निस्तत्वरूपता माया स्वभावो व्योमगो ध्वनिः वायुरस्तीति सद्भावः सतो वायौ पृथक् कृते निस्तत्वरूपता माया स्वभावो व्योमगो ध्वनिः वायुः अस्ति इति सद्भावः. So Sat has, what is the Sat? We said is, no, isness. So Sat Bhavaha, air is, Vayuhu Asti. This has come from the existence, from Sat. From Sat, this quality that air is, the isness, the existence has come from that first Sat. Then Sato Vayo Prithak Krite. When you differentiate Vayu from Sat, then what do you get? Nistatva Rupata Maya Swabhavaha. Yeah? Being of the nature of not having any reality, Nistatva Rupata. That comes from Maya. Maya is that which is not. No, we all know the word. Ya ma sa maya means that which is not is called as Maya. So ma ya. Ya means that which is, ma means not. So the nature of not having any reality, that property has come from Maya. Okay. From Vyoma, from the Akasha, Dvanihi, the sound. So these three properties have come from all these three. What are the three? Sat gives the isness. Then Maya gives the nature of not having any reality. And then from Akasha, the Dhvani, the sound comes. So the three have come, it has inherited from its father, grandfather, great-grandfather. Yeah? So the three properties have come to Vayu. From these, the three lineage. When you say like this, didn't you say that Vayu is Nyuna Vritti? That Vayu is less pervasive. Huh? Vayu is not in Akasha. Huh? Vayu is not in Prithvi. Vayu is not in Jalam, etc. If Vayu is not Akasha, how did Vayu's property come? From Akasha. If Akasha and Vayu are different, then how can you say that it has the Akasha's property? Akasha is not there in Vayu, but only the property. Come on now. So, then by the way, where was it told that Akasha is not in Vayu? If we ask a question like that, since we don't, you all don't have the verses in front of you, I have to just quote this. In 67th verse, yeah, in the 67th verse, is it possible for you to go back to 67th verse? You have to jump to that. Big jump. You can see, Bhinne Viyat Sati Shabda Bhedat Buddhescha Bhedataha Valvadishu Anuvritam Sat Natu vyometi bhedadihi. So then this has, it says that in this one, in the 67th verse, it says Sat is there in Vayu, but Akasha is not there in Vayu. Huh? So now you are saying that the property of Akasha is there in Vayu. How is that possible? Huh? How is that possible? Because at that time you said that Akasha is not there in Vayu. But now you are saying the property of Akasha is there in Vayu. How can that be possible? Okay. So now, since the question has come, then we have to answer. So now he goes to the 81st verse to explain that. How, even though it is, Akasha is not there, how the property is there. So now, go to 81. In that, I didn't tell you, bhinne viyat sati. That was the word that I didn't tell you, that space and sat are different, and space is not there in this in the Akasha, etc. is I mean in the Vayu, etc. is there. Okay, then sato nuvritti sarvatra vyomno neti pureritam. Sato nuvritti sarvatra vyomno neti pureritam. व्योमानुवृत्तिरधुना कथं न व्याहतं वचः. व्योमानुवृत्तिरधुना कथं न व्याहतं वचः. सतोऽनुवृत्तिः सर्वत्र व्योम्नो नेति पुरेरितम्. व्योमानुवृत्तिरधुना कथं न व्याहतं वचः. सतोऽनुवृत्तिः सर्वत्र व्योम्नो नेति पुरेरितम्. व्योमानुवृत्तिरधुना कथं न व्याहृतं वचः. Now, the question is, pureritam means pura iritam. So, in the 67th verse, in this chapter, it was told by you, Sataha anuvrittihi sarvatra. Sat pervades everything. Vyoma na. That means such pervasiveness is not there in Akasha. You said that in the 67th verse. I understand that Vayu has borrowed its existence from Sat. Okay. That is okay. Because Sat pervades everything. You are saying that the property of space is there in Vayu. Vyomago dhvanihi. Yeah. In the 80th shloka, you said that dhvani, that sound is from Vyoma, from the Akasha. Vyomno na iti pureritam. Pura iritam. But you said in the 67th, pura means before, that Vyoma does not pervade Vayu. The Akasha does not pervade Vayu. Vyoma anuvritti adhuna. Adhuna means by now. Now what? At that time, don't think that I will forget. I'm not like all the people in Michigan who are just listening. They don't have the shloka in front of them. I memorize everything, as you are saying. So in the 67th verse, you told like that the Akasha does not pervade anything else. But now you are saying Vyomaha anuvritti adhuna. Just now, by saying that the property of space is there in Vayu, you have said indirectly that Akasha pervades Vayu. When you say the property is there, then that means Akasha is there in Vayu. Otherwise, how would Vayu get the property? So this is just to argue. The person is asking question like this. Katham na vyahatam vachaha. That means what? How can you say that it is not paraspara virodha? Means it is contradictory. This is totally contradictory. What you said in 67th verse and what you said just now in 80th verse, sir, it is self-contradictory. I caught you, now what will you do? So this is the embarrassment. Sometimes we do something and then we have to, somehow manage. It's not like that. Vidyaranyaji is only becoming the opponent and he is giving the, this kind of arguments. Just like Shankaracharya, in all his commentary, he will become the opponent and give all the arguments, counter arguments, so that our ideas will become clear. So just like that, here he has become the opponent and he says, you said that Akasha does not pervade Vayu, but now you are saying Vayu has the property of Akasha. If it does not pervade, how come it has got that? So isn't it contradictory? So Vidyaranyaji says, no, it is not contradictory. Why? So now, next one, he goes to 82nd verse. Yeah. Chidranuvrittirneetiti पूर्वोक्तिरधुना त्वयम् छिद्रानुवृत्तिर्नेतीति पूर्वोक्तिरधुना त्वयम् शब्दानुवृत्तिरेवोक्ता वचसो व्याहते कुतः शब्दानुवृत्तिरेवोक्ता वचसो व्याहते कुतः छिद्रानुवृत्तिर्नेतीति पूर्वोक्तिरधुना त्वयम् शब्दानुवृत्तिरेवोक्ता वचसो व्याहते कुतः छिद्रानुवृत्तिर्नेतीति पूर्वोक्तिरधुना त्वयम् शब्दानुवृत्तिरेवोक्ता वचसो व्याहते कुतः. So now Vidyaranyaji is saying Purva Ukti means in the earlier statement, in the 67th shloka, what I said, Chidra Anuvritti na iti. Space does not permeate Vayu. Vayu and other things, not only Vayu, everything else. This was the statement that was made in that 67th verse. It was said that Akasha does not permeate or it does not extend its nature into Vayu. This is what was told at that time. Adhuna, now in the verse 80, adhuna tu iyam shabdanuvrittir eva ukta. What we have said here is Shabda. Shabda is extending itself there. Shabda means that's the property. Yeah, we never said Akasha is extending. All that we have said is that Akasha's property Shabda is extending itself. That is what we have said. Where is it said that Akasha is spread into Vayu? Did we ever say that? So you have to properly listen to what I'm saying. I didn't say that the Akasha is extending. I said that the Shabda is extending. Okay. Vachaso vyahatihi kutaha. Where is the contradiction in what we have said? Okay. No. When you say Shabda is there, then Akasha is there. Is it not? Like that, immediately this other person will say. So then immediately the other, that Vidyaranyaji is saying, who asked you to imagine all these things? Just stick to what I'm saying. Huh? Don't suppose something. Huh? I'm just saying the Shabda is extending. I never said Akasha is extending. Huh? Akasha is not there. What is the example? So sometimes, we say, Pa. No, in Tamil we say, Appane urchi vechirukku. Means the father has some kind of nose. The son has exactly the same nose. Yeah? Then immediately you say, are you so and so son? Because you can see the father in that son. Huh? So the father's nose is extending, or the mother's eye, whatever you want to think of. You can think of so many people who have like that. So from that you can see that, oh, this must be. Like how Swami Ramakrishnananda was just he used to keep on teasing people, like that. So then when we say the characteristic of the father or mother is there in the child, do we ever mean that the father is also there with him? Definitely not. The father is not there with him, or the mother is not there with him, but that the father's noses property has now come to the child. Karana guna is there, that's all. But Karana is not there. So Akasha's guna is there, but Akasha is not there. So don't imagine things. Yeah. So we have only said Shabda is there in Vayu. We never said Akasha is there in Vayu. So Karana, some kind of properties of Akasha comes into it. Property coming does not mean entity coming. Okay. So the contradiction is not there. Okay, next. So like that. Now he has completely shut the opponent off. Now, next one. Yeah? So this is the 80th shloka. Eight zero. Yeah. Vayu astiti sadbhavaha.
Mummy, we finished this, right? We went to 83
Oh,
now?
sorry. Yeah.
83.
So now in 80, no, just keep that
Okay,
80.
80.
Now
Okay.
in 80th shloka, you can see what is the contradiction. Vayuhu asti iti sadbhavaha. That sadbhava comes, we are able to experience in the statement Vayuhu asti. Means what? Air exists, air is. Vayu is there. Sato vayau pruthakrite. So, sato vayau pruthakrite nistatva rupata maya swabhavaha. Yeah, in the second line, it is there. Now, when you differentiate Vayu from Sat, you are able to see it in Vayu, the Mithyatva. That is the second point. Okay, I hope you're all getting it. When you differentiate Vayu from Sat, you are able to see it in Vayu, the Mithyatva, the second point. So, in Vayu, what do you see? You see the sound, Dhvani. So, an objection with respect to Dhvani was taken and answered. Now, an objection with respect to Mithyatva is being raised. The root for this question was in verse number 80. So, in that it was said that when you differentiate Vayu from Sat, Vayu becomes Asat. And finally, Vayu becomes Mithya. Adhara Adeya. So, that was just keep this in mind. Okay. So, now we go to 83, verse number 83. Just to make us remember what we said. That's all. Now going to 83. Nanu sadvastu parthakyat. असत्वं चेत्तदा कथम् ननु सद्वस्तु पार्थक्यम् ननु सद्वस्तु पार्थक्यात् असत्वं चेत्तदा कथम् अव्यक्तमाया वैषम्यात् अमायामयतापिनो अव्यक्तमाया वैषम्यात् अमायामयतापिनो ननु सद्वस्तु पार्थक्यात् असत्वं चेत्तदा कथम् अव्यक्तमाया वैषम्यात् अमायामयतापिनो. Okay, we'll just say once. We'll go to the meaning. Nanu, whenever we say nanu, nanu always indicates an objection. Objection, like that. No, with your hand up, you have to say objection. So, here a question is being raised. Sadvastu parthakyat asatvam chet. Means, chet always means if. If vayu is asat, parthakyat means prithak, means it is different. Because it is different from sadvastu. If vayu becomes asat, because it is different from sadvastu, tada then, katham, why not? Avyakta maya, maya is avyakta, then how come vayu is vyakta? I can't see maya, but I see vayu. Okay? Nobody sees maya, nobody experiences maya, everybody says there is something called maya. Yeah? But in vayu, we have shosha, sparsha, gati, vega, shabda, so many properties. And I can feel vayu. So maya is avyakta and vayu is vyakta. Therefore, vayu being different from maya, vayu cannot be maya. Okay? Avyakta maya. Maya which is avyakta, vaishamyat means difference. So this vayu is different. Maya is mithya. Amaya mayatapi. Then why can't vayu be real? Sat. Yeah. So because it is different. No? You can really, maya you cannot see, you cannot feel. You are just told that you have to believe in maya. But now vayu is not like that. I just see it and then I feel it. Everything is there. So I will not call it as different from that sat. So it is sat only. So why can't vayu be real? Therefore, it is different from maya which is avyakta. Vayu cannot be avyakta. Katham no. Why not that be true? This is the objection. Maya being different from avyakta, vayu being vyakta, because vayu is different from maya, then vayu should be not like maya. Huh? Then how can you say that this is like maya? Let us see the answer. Okay, I hope you all get the question. So now going to the answer. 84. Nistatva rupataivaatra mayatvasya prayojika. Nistatva rupataivaatra mayatvasya prayojika. Sa shakti karyayostulya vyakta vyaktatva bhedinoho. Sa shakti karyayostulya vyakta vyaktatva bhedinoho. Nistatva rupataivaatra मायात्वस्य प्रयोजिका सा शक्ति कार्ययोस्तुल्या व्यक्ता व्यक्तत्व भेदिनोः sorry भेदिनोः. Now saying that Vidyaranyaji, so he is saying, you are trying to trick me with one argument. I will not fall for that. Okay. So he says, Mayatvasya prayojika. What determines something to be unreal? What is the criteria? The unreality of something is determined, caused by prayojika, is enabled, made possible by one factor. What is that factor? Nistatva rupata. It not having a reality of its own. So, is alone the cause for something to be determined as unreal. That reason of not having its own reality, tulya, is common in both. Now, Shakti and its Karya. Karya means its effect. Maya, whatever has got that, will have, the effect will have that same. Vayu will have. So, how is Maya? Maya is Avyakta. Vayu is Vyakta. That doesn't make any difference. Manifest or unmanifest has nothing to do with something that is real and unreal. Okay. So, what is the decisive final list for reality and reality? The decisive test for unreality is having its own valid, true, independent existence. Okay. And the test for something to be real is opposite, having its own independent existence. So, not having an independent existence is common between Maya as well as Vayu. Okay. So, regardless of whether they are Vyakta or whether you can see or not see, it doesn't matter. Sa vistatva rupa, nisatatva rupatva, Shakti hi karyahate. So, Shakti is Maya and Karya, its effect is Vayu. So, between them, what is common? Tulya, what is common? How is the Shakti and how is its effect? They are Vyakta Vyaktatva Bhedinoho, are differing from each other in that the Shakti is Avyakta, unmanifest, but the Karya, that is the result, that is the effect, is Vyakta. It is manifest. It can be seen. So, differing from each other, even though that Shakti, Maya Shakti and its effects differ from each other being Avyakta and Vyakta, that does not determine whether it has to be real or unreal. The unreality of it is determined by it not having its own independent reality or existence. And because it does not have a reality on its own, Maya is only Kalpita, and the Kalpita Vastu, that is, it's only imagined, and Kalpita Vastu always derives its existence from its Adhisthana, Sat Vastu. Yeah? So, Brahmashraya Maya Asti, Tattva Bodha says like that. So, Astitva of Maya, isness of the Maya comes from only Brahman. Okay? Because Maya is only superimposed on it. Okay? So, it does not have its own independent reality. So, where does it get its reality? It gets its reality from the Sat, its substratum. Therefore, Astitva of the Maya is borrowed and it is not independent. Therefore, we said Maya is Mithya. The same thing for Vayu also, for this Vayu. So, from Maya came the Akasha. Maya is Mithya. Mithya's effect cannot become Satya. Yeah? That which is an effect of what is unreal cannot become real. It's impossible. And Maya being the adhyastha, that means Maya being its cause, not having its own reality. The reality comes from that grandfather Sat, grandfather or grandmother, whatever you want to say. So, Vayu has the same problem. Vayu comes from Akasha, which is already borrowed. Okay? So, Akasha does not have any Satyatva to begin. Huh? From that has come now Akasha is Mithya. Akasha comes from Maya. Maya is also Mithya. So where can there be Sat in Vayu? How can Satta come to Vayu? All the way from its great grandfather. So whether it is Vyakta or Avyakta, I see it, It doesn't have anything to do with this. Huh? So all this, it is all funny to think like that. Okay? So where is the Vyakta and Avyakta? It has nothing to do with this analysis. Huh? So the Mithyatva and the Satyatva has to be determined by its own properties. So, okay, all right. Okay, Vidyaranyaji, what makes Maya Avyakta and what makes Vayu Vyakta? What makes Maya, I cannot see and all that. What makes Vayu Vyakta? Now, this has nothing to do with what we are analyzing. So, suddenly this question has come. That's not the topic here. Because our analysis will go some other way if we start talking about Panchikarna, which we have already done in the first chapter. Okay? So, our topic of analysis is to determine what is Sat and what is Asat. So, we won't go into that. He says that in the 85th shloka. Okay? So, let us see 85th shloka. We'll just read it once so that we can go faster. Sadasatva vivekasya prastutatvat sachintyatam asato vantaro bheda astam tachintayatra kim. Okay, that much. Sad asat vivekasya prastutat. So here, what is the analysis going on of what is Sat, what is Asat? That is the analysis. So that is the question that you had asked. And we had said when we differentiate Vayu from its Adhara, we understood that Vayu is Asat. Then you ask the question, let us differentiate Sat from Vayu and or Maya from Vayu. So when we differentiate Maya from Vayu, because Maya and Vayu are different, so you said Maya is not Vayu. But the point of analysis here is why Maya is Avyakta and Vayu is Vyakta. The whole analysis here is here for understanding what is Sat and what is Asat. That being the case, Sadasat Vivekasya Prastutatvat. Your question based on the discussion of the entire chapter being dedicated to that kind of the purpose is to know what is Sat and what is Asat. Because Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asit, we started like that. In the beginning, there was Sat alone. So that is the whole thing here. The chapter was said that about this. So please focus on that topic. Asataha avantara bheda astam. Let there be not, all these internal differences. What is the difference between avyakta and vyakta and all that? So now here it says Maya being avyakta, Akasha being little more vyakta, but not fully vyakta. Because Akasha is available only to the ear. We can't see Akasha per se. Akasha means space per se. So, and then a little bit more Vyakta is Vayu. We can see Vayu a little bit. But when we come to Agni, we can really see it. All that water, all these things become more and more tangible, So all those Vedas, let it be there. But the whole thing comes under one category, Asat. So, Tat Chintaya, understanding the way we have all these subdivisions and the differences. So, this is Asat. Atra kim? In our context of the discussion, where is the need for you to ask me like that? What is the difference? Let us start analyzing. Don't say all that. So, we should not be, digressing. So, this is all like, I don't know, maybe I went too fast. I don't know if it really made sense or not. So, anyway, if we can go over it next time again. So, then one more or a couple more shlokas are needed to finish this Vayu, but I don't think we can do that because it's already 6 o'clock. So, we'll stop with this and then we'll continue. And I can again, because only one more shloka is there. We'll finish that next week so that the Vayu will be complete. Okay? So I thought we would finish it, but I can't. My throat is getting bad. I hope it made some sense. I don't know. Again, I'll try to go over this whole thing so that it'll be precise and can understand. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So we have done up to the 85th shloka. Okay. One more is needed, 86. So we'll finish that next time.
Thank you so much, Mami. It is so nice. Again, very nice talking about Maya with Brahmashraya, with all the Triguna Asmi part of that, and also with Panchikaranam. I had the same doubt. I think there are a few more questions. Maybe let's finish the
Vayu.
Yeah, the music, and then we can probably have a few more minutes for questions. One or two have questions, if that's okay. Okay.
मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के शक्ति गणपति शारदाम्बिके शंकराचार्य के शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदाम्बिके के काल भैरव के काली दुर्गै के वीर धीर शूर हनुम मारुति चरणतिके मल्लिकार्जुन के செல்வ ஜனார்தனர் கே அம்பா பவானி கம்பத கணபதி சண்டி சாமுண்டி கே ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண பகவான் கே ஸ்ரீ சக்கரவாசினி கே சீதாராம லக்ஷ்மண சகித மாருதி சரணத்திற்கே विद्यारण्यर के विद्याशंकर के वागीश्वरी के वज्रदेग गरुड़ आंजनेयर के श्रीवल्ली देव सेना समेत सुब्रमण्यर के तुंगभद्रै के ஸ்ருங்கநிவாசினி கே ஸ்ருங்கேரி புரியில் நிலைத்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகைக்கே சச்சிதானந்த சிவ अभिनव नृसिंह भारती के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु सार्वभौमर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विद्यातीर्थर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु भारती तीर्थर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विदुशेखर भारती के मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के शक्ति गणपति शारदाम्बि शंकराचार्यर के शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदाம்பிகை के சிங்கேரி புரியில் நிறைந்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகைக்கே.
Thank you all. I will right now stop the go live and then others can continue the discussion on that.